What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Break Zone. My name is JT.
And I'm Lawrence.
And we're here about to give you the top four semifinals here at the Petit Cup, Square Enix's Petit Cup here in Los Angeles, California. We just saw the quarterfinal match, which was a very interesting match. We hadn't seen Mono Water all day. So talk to me a little bit about what you thought that brought to the competitive scene today from everything that we've seen so far.
Mono Water and Monsters, if you keep Mirror around, she can definitely get some work in. Realm activating monsters, turning monsters into forwards, and after that, for example, Cleone, if she breaks, you would actually draw a card off of it. If you have Mirror around, you can duel and draw, and actually get a copy of the monster that just broke, that was turned into a forward, put into your hand, and then after that, play it for a reduced cost of 1.
Whoa, yeah.
That recursion engine is actually quite
really
good
strong.
if you can keep it going.
Right. But we saw just so much aggression on the fire ice side,
Correct.
And so it's just really interesting to see how Mono Water deals with that. It's awesome to see different types of decks coming in. But as we move up into our semifinals match, let's take a look at the bracket as it stands. And here we go. We have Brian Buckley going into 1 against Chris Neal. And in our second match in the semifinals, we have Azul versus Richard Alexander. We have the 1-3 versus 2-4. We're really excited to take you guys over here to the 1-3 match between Brian and Chris. It's going to be an awesome match. Both players are piloting the same elemental deck, which we've seen all day today. Talk to us a little bit about what we're going to see.
Fire ice?
Yep.
More fire ice?
More fire ice.
I'm expecting, those Seed Ring plays are just kind of
just really
Seed Ring's
strong.
been around since Opus 1. Why hasn't he been doing as much work before? He's really coming in and doing a lot.
Right. And we're going to go ahead and take you right now over here to the match. So let's take a look.
All right, so here we are, shuffling picking up their cards, and check them out. Okay, take a look at your 5s.
All right, here
like
we
what
go.
you
Let's
see?
get this on. We are now here at the semifinals. We have Brian on Fire and Ice and Chris N here playing Fire and Ice.
Oh, looks like they like their hands. Discarding a Shiva and playing a Jill Nabat, no value.
A no value Jill here.
Discarding a Jill Nabat
for a Sage. Wow. Okay. Looks like you don't have to worry about Jills coming up on the EX.
There's only one Jill left in the deck.
Right.
So.
Let's bring up that Sage card. I really enjoyed that card. It's one of my favorite cards in Opus 4.
It's a great card, but I don't know if that's good as Jill Nabat.
This is true.
But in this case, he could not play 2 Jill Nabats anyways. He didn't have much of a choice.
Right. And I think that's the only play you're gonna have right here. But
isn't that a feel bad moment when your cards are just so good you don't want to play them?
Yeah, it is a feel bad moment. Here we got Brian pitching a Celeste, which has been his staple this entire match. He's going to play another Jill. so many Jills into Jills with no value. I'm sorry, this, as an Ice player, this just hurts my soul slightly.
Oh, Jill! Oh my gosh, that's 4
Jills. That's 4 Jills here on the board. You guys are seeing that correctly. 4 Jills, and not one of them targeted a forward.
That's 2 break zone, 2 in play. This
is going to be an interesting match. Both players are piloting Fire Ice right now, and we've seen hyper aggression from both sides, from both players as they move through Swiss, and as we go through the final.
Pushing a Sage, steps. Getting a red mage,
right?
Playing the backup game. 2 more.
Into 2 Sages. Okay, Sage is such a strong card. It's a 2-drop. I like it.
It's a 2-drop.
It's a Jill Nabat on demand. You draw a card. It's a Jill.
I guess you don't feel so bad about pitching
You don't feel so bad pitching Jills when you have Sages.
I love it.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, I guess I haven't gotten used to the transition of Opus 4 having a Jill card that's not Jill.
Right.
But here we go.
I thought they made a mistake making the Jill so good, and they wouldn't reprint it again. But you have a Sage.
Well, at
now.
least this one you have to break to get.
That's true, and it's not an EX burst. So.
It works a little bit differently.
Wow, we're pitching another Jill.
Oh, so that's 3 Jills on that end.
So
that's no
Brian
Jills.
no longer has any Jill Nabats in his deck. He's not going to be able to use any of those EX bursts. I hope this is a play that that's gonna be useful here.
And there's a Celis. I mean, I almost want to call it Celis dot deck at this point.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and grab that Celis. We've seen him do it all day. It's a solid play, but it's gonna be it's not gonna do as much because Chris has been playing his backup game fairly well. And here we go. It's another
Mog.
search. Wow. Okay.
Probably to Sid Reigns.
Right. I think that's what's gonna happen. And
I don't think he's running
he
any other
might
13
not-
cards.
he might not have any forwards in play, but I actually like Brian's position right now. He's gotten 2 searchers. He's pitched cards to play these cards, so he's actually up on card advantage right now.
But Chris is kind of set up for the long game too because
Chris is set up on those stages.
He has 2 backups that can break. So you look at Brian's side of the thing. Jilnabat can only be used for ice now.
Right.
Like there's no special, there's no ability.
And I like that Chris has that red mage. That red mage is so good.
Correct. So let's see what's gonna happen next. All right. So 3 play. Oh, there we go. We've got a Kuja.
Oh.
But this one's not a finisher quite yet. I mean, they're still standing at 0-0.
But you know what? If you play Kuja before they have any forwards, you're gonna get value out of that Kuja.
That's true.
You're gonna get value out of that Kuja. You're gonna get 1, maybe 2. If they keep playing 1 forward a turn, you can actually dole freeze up to 2. I mean, dole and then freeze, and then dole and freeze the opposite way.
So at this point, would you rather wait until Kuja attacks to be able to freeze it with a Celis, or would you just play Celis?
I would play Celis and freeze the red mage. Exactly. That red mage is gonna hurt.
That is a character, not a forward. So,
but you know what?
And he plays his own red mage.
But right now, that Celis isn't gonna do anything because that Kuja is gonna dole and freeze her.
Yeah. And
you might be spending some resources to do that, but I think that's a strong play right now. You could literally keep her frozen the entire game. You're going to pay 2 CP now, and then you'll pay 1 CP continually to keep her frozen.
Correct.
Because she's already dull.
We'll have to see how it all works out.
We'll see how it works out.
I mean, what's kind of funny about it, though, is that Brian's not going to be able to play that Al-Cid game very much at this point, or that Sid Reigns game very much, because he filled up his backup line, and he cannot break any single one of them, I believe. Actually, no, he might have 1. He can break 1.
Right.
But all the other ones are here to stay. So any kind of backup damage is not going to happen.
I would definitely attack with that Kuja. There you go. He's going to go ahead and dole freeze. He's going to get a point of damage in. Unless Brian has something to do. Nope.
And he does not.
Oh, wow, that Shiva. I always feel bad when I see the 0-3 Shiva in the damage zone.
And there goes a Marauder.
And a Marauder, okay.
That's going to be big.
That's happening right now.
But if Marauder ever attacks, he's going to get hit by Sid Reigns.
Right. I like that. I think that Celeste is going to get locked down. Brian only has 2 cards in his hands, I believe. He looks like he might have 3. I don't see him playing multiple forwards.
I think he's saving that Sid Reigns for the Marauder.
So he might be able to play multiple forwards here.
Let's see.
We'll play that Sid.
Oh, is he going to be able to do enough damage?
He's going to go ahead and crack his... okay.
And that is enough. Enough for 4,000 more damage, I believe, on a dull forward.
He has to discard the card. There you go. There goes his Cannoneer. You see that Sid Reigns just putting in so much work. And now he has 2 red mages out.
That's going to be enough to activate one of them.
2 red mage.
The Marauder might not do enough work anymore.
Right.
I mean, he's still going to come in and
he's going to come in and swing. You're going to have to, but because right now
Marauder is not good to block at all.
Exactly.
I mean, we're talking about a 1,000 power guy that becomes 9,000 on the attack, but on the defense, he's not so good.
Right. I've noticed these players today. They race to 5 backups so quickly.
I think it's some of the gameplay that we've learned from watching Worlds, actually. A lot of the other players in the other metas throughout the world were playing heavy on their backups first and settling down. I mean, on the flip side, you saw the Mono Fire just take it by storm earlier on. And
those are 2 really, really solid cards in the damage deck. If I was Chris, I'd be actually really happy. I know he doesn't have any Jills left. I just popped off a Shiva and a Renoa. Those are some solid cards right there to see in the damage zone.
With another Marauder.
Into another Marauder.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a good play. Sid Reigns already out, so he's not going to scare him away. But we'll see if Brian has an answer to that. I mean, just dealing 1,000 damage to each of them during his turn would be ideal.
Right.
But I don't know how he's going to do that at this point.
I wonder if
He's got Vivi's. Vivi's could always work on that.
I'm sorry?
Vivi's could always work to pop off the Marauders.
Vivi's can always work to pop off
And he
Marauders.
could try to race them out since...
it looks like he's going to dull freeze. Freeze.
He's going to freeze Celis. Or 2, right? So he can freeze also Sid Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
But the freeze wears off right now, and Celeste is only dulled.
Right.
Let's take a look. Red Mage. 2 more.
Let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to play
the
into the lock. Wow. Again, we see those 2 guys coming out all the time.
The discard. Discarding the Cloud.
Yeah. That Cloud would have been... Actually, that Cloud's not going to do a lot.
It would not actually work right now, but 7,000 damage would be enough to take out everybody except for Celis at this point.
Yes.
Gotta come in with a Sid Reigns. Marauder doesn't want to block. 2 more. What is he gonna do?
It looks like he's got cards ready to pitch here. I'm surprised he's gonna pitch that Genesis into a Genesis.
Wow, freezing the Marauder.
Play.
Wow. You are looking at a lot of damage coming in next turn. Marauder does not.
Marauder's not gonna. Yeah.
This is really gonna hurt.
This is.
A Renoa would be great right about now. Marauder comes in to attack. Most likely no blocks.
Nope. I wouldn't block that.
Popping a Genesis. Okay. Dulling 3.
Into a Shucky. Into a Cloud.
Making in the discard a Sabin. Well, that's...
I would not want to see a Sabin right now on that board. That board looks really brutal.
I think it's fine with and without the Sabin. He's doing well enough, and the Genesis did more work than Sabin last turn.
Right. He's going to swing with that Celeste. He's going to have to keep the pressure on.
The Marauders are really going to be problematic. It looks like he's just going to try to outrace them at this point. He has more forwards out. The other blockers are not going to be super effective. He's probably going to try to, with both Genesis and Lock.
Shucky's going to go ahead and block
Cloud.
that.
Cloud is now smaller and will not trade with any of the characters, the forwards that Brian's going to attack with.
Right.
Except for Sid Reigns. Maybe Sid Reigns.
I don't think he's going to attack with Sid Reigns.
Well, I think he's going to attack with both Genesis and Lock.
Is he going to make the Cloud not be able to block and swing with 3?
Oh, he is. It's just battling it out because you don't want to block a Marauder. Those guys with the big hammers, you don't want to get in their way.
Well, ties it up here at 3 apiece. It's an interesting play. I hope he has a follow-up here because that backswing is going to hurt.
I think it is going to hurt. He kept the lock around just in case.
He's probably base.
He's worried about haste,
I think he is.
You wouldn't want to lose it out just because you got a little greedy and forgot about haste.
Right, but I don't think it matters because...
No, it would.
If he had haste...
It would be,
it would be game over.
Because if Brian swung in with the 4th guy and it had haste...
It would be game over. He would just use the red mage to make sure the lock can't block.
Well, if he had enough cards.
He has to have enough cards, right.
Yeah, because, okay, I think Chris had no cards in hand before. So if he has 2 cards, he cannot have 2 reds. Because if he wants to play a Tifa, for example.
Right.
Like, unless he had Onion Knight, which, looking at his list, he does not have Onion Knight. So he would need too much red CP and would be able to do it.
Oh, man.
There's the Tifa.
Really wish he had that red.
No, it's not so bad.
He would have won right there if that Tifa came out.
Oh, correct.
And he had,
more red CP. That's correct.
Not going to block those Marauders.
Nope. And the Cloud either. But that's not lethal.
It's not lethal. He's going to take that damage.
And the backswing is going to be lethal.
The backswing is going to be lethal, I believe. I think they're just trying to do more damage here and hope to do something.
Sending that message, man. You got to send that message.
It's all about sending a message. He's going to dull freeze too. Oh, wow. Forgot that stage play. It's still there.
Still a thing. That
Wow.
might be a big deal, actually.
Yep, that is a great move right there with that Sage play.
Holding off the back swing, the Marauders is still going to come in next turn.
Still going to come in next turn. Brian can't swing all the way this turn. He's going to have to save some to block, but I think that might be game unless...
Shivas. Don't forget
the Shivas. But even if he had Shivas, it wouldn't work. He'd have to use it defensively.
Correct.
Wow, that Sage coming in. Looks like you don't need a Jill Nabat if you have a Sage on hand. I hope he draws a good card.
A Renoa would be ideal.
He needs it. A Renoa would be ideal.
A Renoa would be crazy good right now. And I don't think that was it.
That Sage. Maybe caught Brian on an overextension with that Sage.
Correct. Brian's looking at his options.
Wow, Brian has had control of this match. Those Marauders are doing some work.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a kind of funny thing, though. It's like, sometimes I think maybe Sidreen's blocking, dying, if you had another Sidreen's in hand, would have been an effective way of dealing with some of the Marauders. But the fact that
it looks like he's going to pass a turn and just chump block everything that comes his way.
Oh, that's going to hurt. I don't even know if he can. How big is Cloud when the 7-4 doesn't play? If it's a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that might be lethal.
Well, let's see what happens. You have to play it out. Okay. Maybe he's holding on to a Shiva of sorts. Chris has to be careful too. But if he attacks and he blocks, I think he's in a better position.
If he's able to survive this, it'd be great. But if he survives this by chump blocking everything, unless they actually blow up the other side of the board, he is not looking at dealing lethal that way.
Right. Can block with that Sid Reigns. He has to. He's that 6 point of damage. He's going to have to block with that Zidane as well.
That's
not much to think about here. You just have to block him, man.
Well, sometimes you got to make sure your opponent doesn't know what card you have in hand.
Right.
Let's see what he has in mind.
If he makes that Setzer unable to block, yep. That's game.
Yep, game 1.
Game 1, and Chris takes it down. He looked like he was having a hard time in the beginning of that match, but the
Marauders came in.
Those Marauders are strong.
They are strong. It's one of those cards where, like, highly effective in just one way, which is on the attack. In every other sense of the word, they are highly vulnerable. They're not very. They're horrible as blockers, and they're highly vulnerable to any kind of direct damage. I mean, we're talking about like Isholta, Balthier, Cactuar. Literally, Cactuar would just come in and like pop one a turn.
Yeah.
But in the case of what just happened right now, as we've been shown, using that Sid Reigns to take out somebody that wasn't Marauder really hurt. Actually. So the Marauder came in early, I think around turn 2, and just went to town every single turn. Would either break a forward or deal a damage. And
I really, really enjoy that Sage play. That Sage play, too, just waiting, just sitting there waiting on that. It's just
Sage was
so huge. Huge.
It was interesting. We were talking earlier on, it's like, yeah, he's got all these backups, but, he can't break him on Brian's hand, and you see Chris like, yeah, he could break 2 of them, and they're going to be pretty cool. And they did. They came in and did a lot of work for him.
Yeah.
That was huge.
I actually don't think Marauder's all that good of a card overall, but in this particular scenario, it definitely found Brian a very good spot to help push Chris through into that victory.
In terms of what it is, Brian did not run into his answers. He's running legendary Vivies. He's actually running some backups that deal damage as well. His Celis would actually be able to take out the Marauders if she ever got to attack. Right. Because dull forwards, if Celis deals damage to the opponent, deal a dull forward 4,000 damage. That's enough to take out the Marauder. And the Sid Reigns was already played, so it could not actually come in and do its effect.
Yeah. Definitely interesting match, seeing both of these players, Pilot, Fire, and Ice, and seeing the almost identical opening plays, but the mid game just took off in so different ways. More tempo on Brian's side, more aggro on Chris's side. you know, with those Marauders and just keep swinging. Just keep.
Renoa would have been great.
Renoa would have been amazing, right? And it's again one of those cards, you know, that like, wow, such a good.
You know what? That Sage
card.
is really putting in a lot of work. I'm gonna have to think about adding it in just about every other mainly ice deck that I play. I mean, it is huge.
Right.
Jill and Sage might be here to stay.
I love Sage. I think that's a great card. All right, looks like we're pitching a Shiva to play a no value Jill here. Pitching another Shiva to play a Snow. Why would you pitch Shivas to play Snow when Snow works so well with Shiva?
Maybe he's just really pushing for that aggro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just find that an 0-3 Shiva with the Snow, it's something that I would never pitch. I can literally get through 3 forwards and freeze one of them.
Well, let's take a look. Maybe he has something in mind.
Sure. Let's see how that works out.
All right, he freezes Snow, which wears off as Snow is still active.
Right.
And it turns to Chris's turn. Let's see what he does with it.
Let's see what Chris does here.
I think Snow is gonna attack.
Snow's definitely gonna get that point of damage in. Hopefully. Oh,
Renoa, great.
Renoa on the break. And in the damage pile, that's gotta be painful right there. Pitching a Snow to play into
a cloud
with no
extra
value.
value.
Right.
Correct. So this time he's playing the no backup, the low backup game.
It doesn't look like he's drawn any backups though. Looks like
he has not pitched any backups at this point.
Yeah,
so that might be the case.
Any backups, right.
Let's take a look. Probably taking 1 point of damage. Let's see. Oh,
it's gonna go ahead and burn that Snow.
And with the chill and the Pommet.
Play into a Zidane. Gonna make his opponent discard a card. Such a good card, that Zidane.
Correct. And when your opponent is playing with only one backup, make him discard a card early game is gonna hurt. I mean,
right. And I wanted to bring up this Black Mage because a lot of people are asking how's that Black Mage breaking Snow? Well, you can put a Black Mage. If it's dull, you can deal 4,000 damage, and Snow just happens to be 3,000, so it's enough to break Snow.
Is he gonna attack into Zidane? I don't know if that's a great play. Zidane kind of and
looks like he's going
Swamp Monk.
Swamp Monk monster right there, which is basically a Snow.
True. A larger Snow.
A larger Snow. Yes.
But you have to pay for it every turn.
Yes. Could be good, actually. I don't see a lot of cards in Brian's hand, and he does not have the same number of backups he had in a previous game, so he's going to have to pitch some cards to play these forwards. If he plays just one more forward, Chris can still come in and swing for 2 points of damage.
Correct. At this point, you almost want to swing in because you know the backswing is going to be 2 anyways.
Exactly. And he's not going to go ahead and block right now. He's going to bring that Genesis in.
Dull freeze.
Dull freeze on that. That's a good solid play right there. Paid a lot to do that though.
Yes, he did.
Pitched 2 cards to play that. He's going to go ahead and take a point of damage here and flips over a Kuja on Chris's side.
At this point, if you were Chris, would you have wanted to draw that Kuja?
At this point, no. I do not have the backups to sustain the use of Kuja.
I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah. Oh, and that Renoa's coming out. Wow.
Oh, I did not see that coming. That Renoa is going to do some work.
That Renoa is going to do a lot of work.
The Genesis and the Renoa are both going to do just enough, just what they need to do.
Right. Okay, let's see. Both players are playing really light on the backups this turn. Brian has no cards in his hand.
But he definitely has a board advantage at this point.
Brian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what Chris does here to try to equalize that a little bit. We see that he has I believe, a red mage in his hand. I don't know if that's going to be all that much helpful right now, but it looks like he's going to play that red
He's going to play it out.
And I think he's going to go ahead and take that points of damage coming in.
Oh, there you go. There's a red mage.
Yep. He can block the Zidane, I believe. No, he's not going to trade his Swamp Monk for Zidane, especially because Zidane has so many on-field effects. He doesn't want to quite break it in case Brian has another one to play, causing him to discard even more cards. He's going to swing with that Genesis. I think Chris is going to have to take it and discard a card anyways. Yikes, that Genesis is putting in some work right there.
I hate that card. I really do.
That card is good. That card is good. He's going to have to take that and discard.
The times when,
double VVs right there.
Oh, let's see what else.
And a Renault on the top as well. And
let's take a
one
look.
more there.
Oh, and a Genesis.
Wow.
That's really going to hurt.
That is painful on Chris's end.
Yeah, I mean, Genesis it just hurts on so many levels.
Right.
I mean, there's times when when I don't play Lightning and Alcid combo, and somebody plays it first turn, I look at it, and if I don't have an answer for it fast enough, I just end up losing the game.
Yeah, and it's great because Brian was able to do all that, put 3 points of damage, without playing a single card. That's just awesome. That's just so he can build up his card hand and have more ability to do things. You know, he's now gonna have 4 cards in his hand again. He's already up on damage. He still has board control. That was a really rough turn here for Chris.
Oh, definitely. I don't think it's about to get any easier either.
Right.
Depending on what Brian has, if he has a Shiva, well, I don't know. If Chris really does have that cloud in his hand, then he won't be able to pitch it to activate Swamp Monk.
Nope, he does not. He won't be able to do that. If I was Brian, I would attack first, get in there.
But which one do you want to attack with first?
I would attack with Zidane.
Okay.
Zidane.
No, correct. That works out.
There you go. Attack with Zidane. He's a throwaway card. He's already served his purpose, and he's gonna get a point of damage in here. My goodness.
All right, the Renault.
The Renault is gonna come in now.
I would still take it.
You know
I don't want to take the Genesis. That Genesis really hurts.
The Genesis is really going to hurt you right now.
But I think he has a... Well, it does. I think at this point it doesn't matter. If he really does have that cloud, that third cloud in his hand...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that Genesis is going to come in and take that cloud away anyways.
Yeah.
Nope,
oh, no, it was a snow.
Snow. He's at 6 points of damage right now. Brian is just methodically taking away all the points and he's going to dole... And he's going to freeze that red mage, making half the cards that Chris draws unplayable. It looks like Chris is okay there. Doesn't seem to be hurting from that red mage.
That Celis keeps just wrecking plays, wrecking games.
Celis is just wrecking people like that. When she comes in, it's just like, it's a character. That's why it's so good.
Correct.
I mean... A dual color deck. I mean...
She's
wrecking.
Putting in a huge amount of work today.
Yeah, really
I mean, as much as I love Seaman, she might actually be the MVP of the day.
Yeah, we've seen her just wreck. Her and Locke just wreck bases. Let's see what Chris can do here. It does not look good for him right now.
It definitely doesn't.
I would just do a point of damage.
Oh, there's the Shiva.
No, the Shiva's into the stage to dole freeze those two. I mean, to freeze both of them. Right?
Straight, yeah.
He's going to have to block the Celeste with the Swamp Monk. Hopefully trade.
Wait, it would not trade at all.
Celeste is 8.
It would not trade at all.
It wouldn't trade at all. Swamp Monk is only 7.
Oh, and he's actually got another play in mind. Oh, the lock to pop that last card.
Nope, he does not have 2.
He only has 1, that's correct.
He only has 1.
So let's go ahead and... he says, yeah, don't got 2. So you can keep your card.
The block.
Yeah, that's...
He's going to have to block the Swamp Monk.
And turns the turn. Give the turn.
And that looks like it.
That's it.
Looks like Brian takes game 2, tying this up. Best of 3 here in the semifinals, top 4 at the Petit Cup in Los Angeles, California. interesting game there. It went so differently, and again, we're seeing Brian play the same type of game. I think he likes.
He definitely played more aggressive on this end.
He did, but like they're the same cards that are doing a lot of the work for him. I think that's just a testament to how well Brian's deck is put together, how consistent it is, as we've seen it today. And it's a great looking deck. It looks like it's working very well for him.
It definitely is. I mean, at this point, it can definitely go more of the mid-range route or the highly aggressive route. In this case, he went highly aggressive, and he was rewarded for it.
Yeah, totally. I dig it. It's just a strong showing from him, and you can tell he's had a lot of practice piloting it.
Oh, I believe he did. The lines of play he has regarding Celis and the backups and the choices he makes. I mean, some of them become quite obvious as he put his deck together like that, but he must have tweaked it quite a bit in order to optimize it the way he did.
Right. And it seems very lean and very optimized. Both players are coming out here, winning a match each. And right now it's do or die. Right, it's winner takes all right here.
Yeah, so
winner earns the right to compete for the championship, for the teacup itself. It's very exciting here. Once again, thank you for joining us here at the Break Zone as we give you live coverage of the Square Enix Petit Cup here in Los Angeles, California, where we're able to see some of the best players around. Duel it out and see who can come out on top here for the coveted Petit Cup.
And thanks for the Meta Pusher for putting this event together as well.
Right.
Okumoto and McGinty, great guys.
and Matthew Okumoto and Kyle McGinty, putting this thing together along with Richard Brady over there at Square Enix. We'd like to thank you guys. It's been an amazing event. And it looks like we're coming down to its conclusion. Let's see how this match ends up. I like Brian's chances here. I like the way his last match played.
It's tough to say. I mean, how aggressive do you want to be? Because definitely, Chris's deck goes the heavier aggressive route, while Brian's deck goes more of the mid-range controlling route, tempo route.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes the Marauders get there, so let's see if he can pull that off.
Yeah. Let's see.
The funny thing about playing
those Marauders are so good, dude.
in this match, I mean, I'm iffy on the Marauders, but they did the job, so I can't say anything bad about them.
Two red mages being played.
But you're playing against Fire Ice, so you might be facing a Shulky and Marauder next turn.
Oh, I'm pitching a Renoa to play into Black Mage.
I think he's respecting the Marauders. He's getting ready for them.
He's getting ready for the Marauders. We obviously know that Brian's red mage is stronger because it's foil.
Ooh. Got that shiny power.
That shiny power, man. We see Chris pitching on his first turn to Goblin to play the red mage, and it's back to him here on turn 2. Let's see what he can do.
All right.
I wonder if he's going to go aggressive again.
I think Chris goes aggressive.
Right? Okay.
I mean, his deck is not made to
pitching that
curve
Genesis.
Out higher than it's probably Shulky.
Shulky into a
Marauder. Is it a Marauder?
Or a Marauder?
Marauder?
Into a Marauder.
There you go. That's the scary play.
Yep, that is brutal to see when you're about to do your next turn, because if you played something else, Shulky's going to cause you to discard. Drops that vein. It's just a strong play all the way through.
Strong play. The problem is the Black Mage is going to put in some work as soon as Marauder comes in once. That's a one-time thing. Oh, unless
he leaves it.
Let's see what he does
here. I think he's thinking about this right now. Does he want to pop that Marauder, or is he going to take some damage from it?
Take that Shulky and lose your ice backup, or put a guy out and block the Shulky. Alright, double red mage. Oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Let's see what he does here. He's going to pitch that Bahamut into a Sid. He's
going to get
he's going to grab that Celeste. Of course, he grabs the foil one because it's stronger.
You gotta get that foil power. You gotta channel that power of the shine.
Channel the foil, the shiny power right there. It's a good play though. It's a strong play. You're gonna get 4 backups out. He ramps his backups pretty quickly.
He's got 4 right now, but he's about to face 2 damage and a Marauder that's gonna. Well, actually, I don't think the Marauder is gonna be too bad.
Well, the Black
Mage is gonna help out. He's gonna take the Marauder once, then he's gonna crack his Black Mage next turn.
Right, and now it won't hurt him so much because he has backups.
Correct.
Right.
And there goes a Marauder.
He's gonna take that point of damage.
Take that hammer damage.
And he's gonna take that Shulky damage right there.
Yep. There he goes.
Oh wow, 2 Genesis in a row.
Ooh.
Oh,
I feel like I
man.
should sing a song about it.
Wow, that is brutal right there. Into a Sage. This early aggression continues here on Chris's side, and into a VV. He's ready to blast whatever comes out of that door.
That Celis might not survive coming into play.
Yes.
Some of our commenters are wondering if he drew a Sid Reigns. That would be ideal.
That would be ideal.
Let's see if it happens.
Let's see what he does here.
Doesn't look like it. With 2 red, you're not going to play a Sid Reigns.
He does have a Setzer, though. Oh, no, he's pitching the Setzer. He's going to go ahead and play the Genesis. He's going to Dole
Freeze Vivi. Is that what you...
Is that really what you wanted to do?
Oh.
He's going to... Wow. And the Jill.
The other 2. Oh, wow.
He has all 3 of them now in his deck.
Everything
is
he's
Dole
Mr. Freeze.
And Frozen.
He is Mr. Freeze. It's time to see if Chris can channel his Batman.
You know, it's not so bad to be Dole Frozen right now. He's up 2 points of damage. He's not going to take all that much. It's just staving off a little some damage right now.
I mean, for Chris's deck, being stalled out actually hurts quite a bit.
It does. It does.
Only his Marauders are kind of big. Everybody else is just kind of...
Oh, a Genesis into a Genesis. Now, last game we saw
3 Genesises.
We saw 4 Jills on the board in various spots on the board. Now we see 4 Genesis on the board.
Ice is strong.
Ice is strong. Genesis is still getting play right here. It's really interesting to see.
Let's see. With all these targets, does Black Mage want to crack one of them?
Right. And who do you crack, right?
Marauder.
And not the VV? The VV can crack your Genesis.
The VV could have cracked it right now if you'd wanted to.
And you can take 3 points of
damage. But the
damage.
Marauder is something that sticks around and just beats you in the face.
Oh, no. Looks like he's going to go for the VV.
Okay.
He wants to keep his Genesis alive.
Is he... I'm wondering what he's expecting to do about the Marauder.
Nope. Genesis is still going to take some damage here.
Just 4,000. Not too bad. I don't think he's going to be playing anything off of 1 card and no hand.
That's Celeste.
What kind
He's
of
going to
hand?
go ahead and freeze the Marauder. Not Marauder. I've never seen so much attention being paid to a Marauder.
Well, in Brian's deck, if he doesn't draw the right answer to take care of the Marauder is just bigger than his stuff.
Yes, that is
that
very true.
that is a huge issue.
Wow. So let's see what Chris does here. I think he has firm control of the match right now. But he's down on the backup end. He's down on the backup ends.
If Chris can dull down Celis or like dull free Celis somehow, it would be a problem. I mean, he still has a Sage.
Right. Still has a Sage. He just needs a dull Celis and then pop the Sage.
Correct.
And swing for 3, and the next turn swing for 2. Swing for 2.
All right, let's take a look. All right, what would this decide to do? 2 cards in hand. 3 cards in hand on Chris's side.
Doesn't look like you have an answer for that Celeste right now.
Not quite yet. And you don't want your Marauder dull when Celis comes back for the backswing.
You can always just red mage to Celis and get 2 points of damage in.
Oh, right now, yes.
Yeah. And on the
But
backswing,
on the backswing, Celis is going to break Marauder.
Right. Celis is going to break Marauder. And I don't think there's anything you can do about that unless you just save it to block. But is your Marauder really that important?
Marauder just might be, because if you keep Celeste up, Marauder's the only one getting through.
Right. Right. Our commenters are saying that some should say that he party attack. I actually don't agree with that. The party attack would not be a good idea because he would just take the damage and lose the Marauder in the next turn.
I mean, treating a Genesis with a Genesis is not too bad.
That point of damage
chump blocking with Chucky would be the worst.
Right now.
Yeah, but he cannot allow Celes to go through and take out Marauder. If he does, he will. Oh, there goes a party attack.
There goes a party attack. It looks like
maybe he has a play.
Or maybe he does have a play. Our commenters are on it with this one. He's gonna go ahead and give it. He's gonna draw that card. I don't know if this is.
I think it's so early that going that aggressive. I don't think Chris has much of a choice because since Brian has so many backups and is actually starting to build up a board, he needs to try to finish it quickly. I mean, Sage is there, and that's great.
Oh, that Renoa.
Oh, yeah, that Renoa
right now is a key time to play that Renoa.
And there you go. The Genesis hitting is not going to deal anything.
Yep.
But the Celes hitting is going to be a problem. Well, for Marauder, backswing though would be 3. Right. Not enough to go for lethal, but definitely relevant.
Definitely relevant, right.
The funny thing is, if Brian goes out and plays Genesis and attacks with Genesis and Celes and plays out a forward, then he could be trying to keep up with Chris.
Why don't you just block the Celes now with Renoa?
Even if he did, it wouldn't be a big deal because as long as Brian has a forward he can play, that's large enough to take on one or two of the forwards, he'll be just fine. Just let the Marauder through and take on the other 2.
Just take the damage and let the Marauder pop. Nothing you can do here at this point, right? I mean, you can block.
You could block with Renoa.
Block with the Renoa.
It seems a little.
I don't think that seems a little penny smart.
No, because so if he blocks with Renoa, right, he could backswing for 3.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
with the red mage.
Block?
It's not the best thing. Well, it is the best thing he can do at the moment.
He can get 3 points of damage, assuming Brian doesn't play a forward right now.
No, even if he does, he could red mage.
He could definitely red
if he
mage.
Has if he gets a fire card.
Yes, he has to get a fire card. Into the Sid Reigns. Oh, Jeebus.
And there you go. That changes things quite a bit.
He's like, wait, let me see this Sid Reigns real quick.
Yep.
And then,
you've seen it a couple times already. He still does the same thing.
Play the Devout to bring the Sabin back later, or the Renoa. I think he might have a Renoa. I don't think he has a Renoa in his
we'll have to see. It'll be a surprise. There's a Jill.
That's always
There's
helpful
a Jill.
to see.
That's always good.
Yeah, I would do that literally right now. And then swing, and then give my guy first strike with my Goblin.
Oh, it's not first strike. The Goblin is
haste. I'm sorry.
Haste and draw a card. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Genesis coming in. Goes through. No hand. No.
No.
Brian is debating if he wants to block. Okay, taking the damage, flipping a Shiva off the top, discarding his Light's Dane. Is Shucky going to attack? Chris takes a look at the break zone. I see a Renoa in there, so that's always a devout target. Alright, we're still going. Debating if he's going to attack with a shell key. And instead, he plays the Jill, freezing the 2 forwards.
Oh, okay. So he
Sauce and
took some
Genesis.
damage on that.
That he did. He took
4 points of damage here.
and we'll have to see how it turns out now.
It's a very interesting match. I actually think that Brian has some board state, but he's not putting any damage down.
He does have the Devout. We did see Renoa in the break zone. There you go. Probably getting the Renoa. There you go. And that's a classic ice play of I hate you, Renoa. Why do you play so well with Devout?
Renoa is so good.
Look at all the shinies. The foil powers is coming through. Oh, 4 damage, 2 forwards, facing down the Renoa and the Sid Reigns.
It's hard.
Not ideal.
But he's still winning.
I mean, Chris is he's technically, but life is a resource, right?
Right.
Damage is a resource. I mean, you look at it this way: 4 backups, 4 forwards to 2. I think Brian's just doing all right. I mean, something short of a Shiva and a haste guy. Chris is going to have a hard time.
Right. Well, we don't know what he drew, but he's not looking. That Renoa is really going to hurt him.
Correct. There are ways to get around it. I mean, we're talking about Red Mage, but that's still not lethal. Tough decisions need to be made.
It's really tough
Let's take a look.
decisions.
I mean, if you give Brian a short break, then he's just gonna come at you swinging.
You really have to take advantage of that Jill that you played last turn. Because if you don't,
He's gonna lose his chance.
he's going to lose his chance. That Genesis and that Celeste is going to come up, and you're going to have a really, really rough time.
All right, let's take a
Is
look.
he going to use a Sage?
That's 2. Swap Monk. Ooh, not sure if that's gonna be enough. Let's see. Going up. Activate Goblin.
Oh, wow, the Goblin. He's going to
Okay.
go ahead and tap down that Renoa. When he attacks.
And
with
draws
that-
a card. I
Right?
think he was hoping for maybe a Shiva. Oh, uses Jill. No free Genesis.
Good play right there. He's going to save him a point of damage. And his card in his hand.
Correct.
Now, does Chris really want to attack?
I believe he does. He's already
He's going to have
invested.
to. Oh, he's going to block the Sid Reigns with the Swamp Mop. He's going to get another
Just to
point of
remind
damage.
you, it's just fine.
He's at
There
5.
you go. The Swamp Monk turned into a forward, had summoning sickness, but the Goblin gave it haste,
Yep.
allowing it to attack.
Right. The Goblin is really what made him be able to attack and duel down without Renoa.
All right. And now the Jill effect is gone, and it's gonna start hurting.
He's going to start hurting, but he's up to 5 points of damage. He doesn't have a lot to play with right now.
It does not, but a Genesis coming in swinging is gonna hurt.
Right.
Celes or Renoa can be kept around. Genesis is gonna just attack Chris's hand.
He's going to blast to do some damage to that Shelky.
4,000 damage to Shell. Justice comes in, deals damage. Makes you discard a card just for the extra pain.
Right. Let's see what he discards. It'll be really interesting to see what he chooses to discard right now. Discards that Snow.
Renoa going
He's
into
going to
it.
let that go through.
Oh,
Takes
he
3
must
points of
have
damage.
something in mind, but I don't I guess he's it's all on the line at this point. Hoping that Chris gets no haste and no fire CP to.
He's got to go for broke here. He's going to play that Sid Reigns, blast that shell.
4 more thousand damage. Shock is gone.
He's gone.
Oh, there you go. That really hurt, actually. Yep, that was that haste that Chris was relying on to go deal that 7. This
looks like it might be lethal. He can still stage 2 of those guys, but he's not going to be able to block. He brings out that Renoa, but it's not going to matter because he's got that red mage.
Definitely looks like Brian has stabilized.
Brian looks like he's about to win this match.
Oh, not in one turn though.
Not in one turn, but
as long as the stage is still active, we can.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're just delaying the inevitable.
Correct.
All right. We're looking. It looks like Chris has a Renault in his hand, a Snow, and another Sage. I don't see a line of play here that he can do that's really going to help him right now. He could play the Renault, but it's not going to matter. No. The Red Mage is going to be out. He could play both the Renault and the Snow, but
Red Mage is already on the other end too.
Exactly. He's got 2 Red Mages out, I believe.
One playing 1/4 is not enough on Chris's end.
Yeah. So I think got him to 5 damage. I don't think he's gonna have enough to push through. Right now, with that dull freeze on the Genesis, it's just that's brutal.
It's pretty brutal, but even if Genesis was up, Celis would be able to swing in. Right. Renoa would swing in too, and if Genesis were to trade with him.
Right.
But even if Genesis was active, unless Chris plays another forward, Red Mage activation would come into play on Brian's end, and just force Genesis to not block.
Right. Red Mage is so strong. I think he might be coming to a realization he doesn't have a lot of options here.
But hey, you're playing for it all.
You're playing for it all. You gotta keep playing.
There you go. You gotta give it a try.
Go ahead and he's gonna dull freeze 2 of those. He's gonna choose
Renoa and Celis, I believe.
Yep.
No, Genesis.
Nope.
Renoa and Celis, correct.
Yep. And then he's gonna hopefully block with. This actually saves them a turn.
It does save him a turn, but as we mentioned before, this is a slow bleed.
Does it really save him? It does save him a turn.
It saves him a turn.
They're gonna Red Mage the Renoa. He's gonna swing in for 2, brings him to 5/5, and then he's gonna have a chance to do something.
Yeah. So at this point, Brian does need to at least keep 2 guys up in case of Red Mage activation.
Right.
Or have at least 1 in play, so he can attack if he wants to with Genesis. Oh, actually, no, he can't even attack right now. No. If we were attacking to Renault, actually, if he were to activate,
he has to Red Mage Renoa, swing in for 2.
Swing it for 1 almost, because if he swings it for 2, right. And on the backswing you get the Red Mage, you're gonna have a problem.
It might be
Red Mage plus haste would be
if he just plays a forward and
actually hold on, let me think. Chris has no cards in hand, so I don't even think. Well, no, actually, yeah, Red Mage would be a problem. Brian needs to have 2 active forwards in order to block.
Yeah.
Sid Reigns blocking Renoa would actually be pretty good in terms of Renoa being dulled and not being able to break herself.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and Jill activate on that Renoa. He's going to swing in with 1 and 2.
All right.
Bring it to 5/5.
And I think Brian is inching his way forward.
He's got to do something because that backswing is going to end him.
Correct.
What is this line of play right now?
I'm not sure. Oh, did he just... the Cloud EX broke Renoa.
Right. He's going to go and drop that, and he's going to play the Sabin. I think that's game. Oh, not quite. I forgot that the Renault is frozen.
Correct.
He needs
But
to
at this
draw
point,
something.
he just can't draw enough. He can't draw enough. There's
He
nothing.
can't draw enough. I think this might be game.
There's nothing he can draw right now that's going to end the game on his end.
Yes.
And when it turns to be Brian's turn, he's going to be able to finish it off.
Yeah.
The red mage keeping the Renoa from blocking. Actually, she's still frozen anyways, or dulled now. Is just going to end the game.
Right.
It's part of that ice game that you talk about. You know what's going to happen about one turns ahead.
Yeah,
And
and a lot of ice players, they know, they've already done the math, and the only thing that he could have done here, there's really no card he can draw that's going to help him.
I don't see any outs in this one.
There's no cards he can draw that can help him. He's just taken too much damage.
Alright, folks, just want to let you guys know, those of you still playing, we're going to be closing the store in about 5 minutes. So if you want to make any...
Let's take a look. Look at his options.
Those of you who are around the players, the stores will be closed in 5 minutes.
I think that might be game, unless Chris has something to do, because what he's going to do is Saban's going to come in and say, you can't break me.
You don't even need to worry about that. Just
Yeah.
red mage activation.
Red Mage activation on the Genesis and swing.
Sorry if we were too loud on the there.
Sidri coming in.
That's 6.
1 damage.
Oh, there's nothing else he can do.
This
He's
is coming
gonna-
in.
That's game.
All right.
It looks like Brian is right there. There it is. Brian's going to go ahead and take it. He's going to be right there in the grand finals battling for the Petit Cup. Lou, talk to me about that match. That last one was really, really interesting.
It was
a
very
lot slower than what we're used to.
It was that ice math. It slows you down.
You know, we have to think about the math required to play ice. It takes a little bit of time.
I mean-
so I think it's really interesting to see just overall the differences of play, even though they're both piling the same deck. And
Similar decks, I
similar decks, but they play in such a different way. With Brian really pushing more of the tempo and the more calculated, methodical, grind away type of play, whereas Chris is really just going out swinging with those marauders and stuff like that. So, how do you think Brian's going to do, given what the possible winners are from the other match? Do you think he has a good chance to take this home?
I have been taking a look at the other pairings. I was so focused on this one. I think he's looks like he's very comfortable piloting his deck. We're talking about like the Celis plays and the Sidrain plays coming in huge for him.
Right.
And
that Celis is so strong. The
at least in his deck,
Sidrains,
he makes full
right,
use of it. It is
right.
definitely coming in.
It
and doing
is.
a
It
lot.
is really, really cool. And watching that, we've seen some amazing ice play today. What I'm most impressed about is the Terra play. You remember this?
Oh yes, the Terra
man,
wipes.
The Terra wipes. They're just legitimate wipes. It's something that Ice didn't have before.
Well, it has Genesis
It has
Avatar double play.
Genesis Avatar
on
double
the,
play,
on the
sure.
time
But,
age, right?
Yeah, but it's like this is so much easier to do.
I mean, also the fact that one Terra can play into a different Terra. So,
Right.
And I think, do all the Terras have specials? I think they all do, don't they? All three of them.
I believe so. They all have
Oh,
specials.
jeez.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you, guys, everybody who's watching us right now. We see your comments. We really appreciate the input on the match and everything. It's great to see that the community has opinions about what should be played, how things should be played. It's a really good thing to kind of just see, the input that a lot of players are giving, and it's great. We appreciate it. Everybody's been positive, and thank you for the love and support that you guys have shown us here at the Break Zone as we give you live coverage of awesome Square Enix Petit Cup. I mean, it's like 90 players here today. It's
89, and I think a
it's
couple of people
great.
trickled in later on and joined the Wolves Den.
Yeah, and then the Wolves Den is going on right
yeah.
now, and we've
Having a
got
great
the
time.
store, and it's just been an amazing time here. So our hats off to Square Enix for throwing Meta Potion for throwing an amazing event, right? So we hope you guys have enjoyed what we're showing. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to come back with the grand finals. That's it. This is it. Winner takes all. They're going to go home with that amazing Petit Cup trophy, as well as all the sweet, sweet swag, including playmat signed by Kageyama.
They look
Kageyama-san.
amazing.
they look amazing, and it's really, really cool. If you guys don't know what it is, go ahead and check us out on our Facebook page. We've taken photos of everything. If you like what we're doing here at the Break Zone, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs down. Subscribe if you ever want to know what else we're doing and what else we're covering. And yeah, it's just great to hear from everybody. So stay tuned, and we're going to be back with the grand finals and winner takes all. So we'll see you in a little bit.